welcome to Crystal's Crochet Cubbyhole and to Tutorial Tuesday. What a mouthful. Okay, today we're going to do something a little bit different. Today we're going to make these little pumpkin coasters. Isn't that cute? So we're going to make one of these pumpkin coasters, okay? It's not too hard. What you'll need, and we'll just try to go slow. You'll need orange for the pumpkin. Let me lay this right here. Well, here, let's do this first. You'll need scissors for cutting your ends. You'll need a needle for sewing in those ends. You're going to need a stitch marker to keep track of where you're at in the circle. That way you know you got your right amount of stitches, or you can count, whichever you prefer. And then I'm using a 4.5mm crochet hook. So for our little pumpkin coaster, we're going to need some orange yarn for the pumpkin, brown for the stem, and green for the little curly thing. The little, what would you call that? Just that little vine-like thing. So, let's put our yarn over to the side, and we're going to get our orange yarn to start with. And to start, we're going to do a magic circle. Let me lay this to the side. So you wrap, I hold the yarn in my hand like this, wrap it around these two fingers. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to shake that. Making an X. Turn over, grab that and hold it. Then I'm going to take my hook, go under the first one, grab the second one, pull it up, twist around, and then grab that back strand of yarn. And there is our magic circle. Next, I want you to chain 2. 1, 2. Now we are going to do 10 double crochets into our magic ring, our magic circle. So I'm going to start and do my first double crochet. Then I'm going to stop. This just makes it easier and a little bit faster going along. And in my first double crochet I made, I'm going to put my stitch marker in the top of it. So there's 1, 2, and keep going until you have 10 double crochets in your magic ring, and I'll be right back with you. And 10. Okay, so we've got our 10 double crochets. You take the tail of your magic circle and you pull it real tight and get that hole closed up. And I'm using, all my yarn is 100% cotton. So there's that. And now if I had not put the stitch marker here, I would have counted back to make sure that I slip stitch into my very first double crochet, or 10 back. So we're going to take, I'm going to remove the stitch marker, keeping track of what loop that's in. And I'm going to slip stitch to join. And to slip stitch, you just you're going into the stitch, you wrap your yarn, pull it through that stitch, pull it through the loop on your hook, and there you have slip stitched. And there is our first round. Now for our second round, you're going to chain 2. 1, 2, and I'm going to take, let's see if I can find it. Right here it is. See, you gotta watch out. See what I just did? I took not my working yarn, but the end. So chain 2, 1, 2, and I'm going to pull this working yarn up here, the end that I'm going to be cutting later, and I'm going to kind of crochet it in as I'm going along. So now, in that very same stitch where you slip stitched, I need you to do 2 double crochets. So I'm going to put that yarn back there. 1, 2. Now let me go ahead and put my stitch marker in that first one. So, there's the first one I did. Now, I'm going to do 2 double crochet in every stitch around for a total of 20 stitches. So you should have 20 double crochets when you get back over here to your stitch marker. So I'm going to continue around and I'll meet you near the end of the round. Okay? Okay, my husband's sawing outside, so I hope you can still hear me okay. Now I did 18 double crochets so far, so I need 2 more. So I'm going to go into this stitch right here and do 2 double crochets into the same stitch. So you're doing 2 double crochets in every stitch around. Now I'm going to take this piece of yarn and put it out of the way. So now I'm going to slip stitch in my first double crochet to join this round. And there is that. So there's what we've got so far with 2 rounds. Now our third round, we want to chain 2 to start. 1, 2. Now in this round, I want, in that very same stitch, do 2 double crochet. 1, I'm going to stop and mark my first stitch. 2. Then in the next stitch I want to do 1 double crochet. Now again, and this is what we're going to do all the way around. We're going to do 2 double crochet in the next stitch. 1 and 2, and then 1 double crochet in the next stitch. So you continue around doing 2 double crochet in a stitch, then 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, all the way to the end, and I'll meet you back around in the end there. Okay, I just did 2 double crochet in that stitch and 1 in that one. So I'm going to do 2 in this stitch, 2 double crochets into the same stitch right there. Then we have 1 stitch left. This one is just where we joined and have a chain of our chain 2. So that's not a real stitch. So then we're going to do 1 double crochet in this one, and we're going to slip stitch to join. And that's the end of round 3. And now for round 4, we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. Okay, again for round 4 we've chained 2. Now in that very same stitch we're going to do 2 half double crochets. Wrap your yarn and you pull through all 3. That's your half double crochet. There's 1, 2. So 2 half double crochets, and I'm going to put my stitch marker in that first one to keep track of my space. Now I'm going to slip stitch the next 2 stitches. So I'm going to go in here, pull my yarn through the stitch and through what's on my hook. There's 1. Then into the next one, slip stitch. Okay. Next, we are going to do 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. So 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. 1, 2. Now we're going to do 2 double crochets. We're going to do a double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So in the next stitch we do a double crochet, and then in the next stitch do a double crochet. Next we're going to do 2 double crochets in this next stitch. 1, and in the same stitch do a second one. 2. Okay, I'm going slow so don't skip nothing. In the next stitch we're going to do a double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So 1 double crochet in this stitch, and then 1 double crochet in the next stitch. Okay, let's see. Now we're going to do 2 double crochets in the next stitch. 2 double crochets in the same stitch. 1, 2. Now we're going to double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So 1 double crochet in this stitch, 1 double crochet in this stitch. Then we're going to do 2 double crochets in this stitch. 1 and 2. Then we're going to do a double crochet in the next 2. So 1 double crochet in this stitch and 1 double crochet in this stitch. Now here we are about halfway around our pumpkin. So the next stitch we're going to do 2 half double crochets. There's 1, 2. Now we're going to slip stitch in the next 2 stitches. So go into the next stitch and do a slip stitch, and then go into the next stitch and do a slip stitch. Okay, now we're going to do 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. 1 and 2 half double crochets in the same stitch. Okay, now we're going to do a double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So 1 double crochet in this stitch and 1 double crochet in this stitch. Then we're going to do 2 double crochets in the next stitch. 1 and 2. Now we're going to do a double crochet in the next 2. So a double crochet in the next stitch and a double crochet into the next stitch. Okay, then we do 2 double crochets in the next stitch together. Well, in the same stitch. There's 1, 2 double crochets. Now we're going to do a double crochet over the next 2 stitches. We're almost done. 1 double crochet, and then the next stitch 1 double crochet. So there's our double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Now we're going to do 2 double crochets in the next stitch. 1 and 2. 2 double crochets in that same stitch. Okay. Now we're going to go do 2 double crochets, we're going to do a double crochet in the next 2 stitches. We only have 2 stitches left. So we're going to do a double crochet and a double crochet in the next one. And now I'm going to do a slip stitch to join. Right here's my first stitch that I was at, so that's where I'm going to slip stitch to join. And I got a hold of something. Yeah, it don't want to come through. Let me pull that back out. So let's try this again. It got hung up on one of those little strands. So slip stitch to join. There we go. Then I'm going to chain 1. And I'm going to cut my yarn, leaving enough to weave in my tail. Let's move this over here out of the way a minute. We are through with our stitch marker, I think. So, and it's there we go. There's the pumpkin half. Now we are going to get our brown yarn. Okay. And in the second half double crochet, now by second, I'm right here's where we slip stitch to join. This stitch right here has our 2 half double crochets. So in the second one, I go over to this. It's the first one we did. That'll put our little stem right there in this little area. So I do a slip knot on my brown yarn, and I'm going to find that again. So there's that one. So it's this one. I'll take my brown yarn and put it on my hook, tighten up that little loop. I'm going to hold that to the back, and I'm going to pull my brown yarn through, keep a hold of the back, that end of it. Now I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to do a triple crochet in that same stitch. Now again, to do a triple, you're going to wrap your yarn twice, go into that same stitch, pull up a loop, wrap your yarn, pull through 2, wrap your yarn, pull through 2, wrap your yarn, pull through 2. So now I'm going to do a triple crochet in the next 3 stitches. So wrap my yarn twice, going into the next stitch, wrap my yarn, pull through, and do a triple. There's 1. 2, 3. And see, that makes your little stem. I mean, you could go over to that first half double crochet, or the very last one right there, right before you slip stitched, and put your stem. But I kind of like my stem sitting kind of sideways like that, and then you got your little curly Q on it with the green yarn. So we've done our 3 triple crochets. Now I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to slip stitch into the same stitch. Now, but to slip, we're going to join with our green yarn. So I'm going to get my green yarn out and ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to go into that same stitch, and instead of pulling up, I'm going to take and cut my brown yarn, leaving enough to weave in a tail later. I'm going to take my green yarn and hook it on my hook and pull the green yarn through, and then pull it through this. Hold on. Gotta hold on to it. Oops. And pull the green yarn through to slip stitch. Then I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to take this brown thread that I just cut, and then the green yarn, the end of the green yarn, and I'm going to just tie a little knot right there. It kind of holds them together to keep them from unraveling until I can sew them in. And that's just real small, so it's not that noticeable. So there I have slip stitched, and I've switched to my green yarn. Now I want to chain 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, now in the second chain from the hook, I'm going to do 2 single crochets. 1 and 2 in that same stitch. Now I want you to do 2 single crochets in every stitch down, and I'm going to meet you near the end. Okay, we're coming up toward the end. It's a little hard to hold on to some. I'm going to do, I got 2 chains left, so do single crochet 1 and 2 into that one, and then single crochet 2 into this last chain. Now we're going to slip stitch to join. So I'm just going to go back in here, come back here, grab my green yarn and slip stitch it through, chain 1 and cut my yarn, leaving enough to sew in the ends. And there is our little pumpkin. Let's see, get that out of the way. And so you can just play with that little twirly thing. Ever how you want to do it. So all I have to do is sew in my ends. So I'm going to pause and sew in my ends because you don't need to see all that. It's just take up more time. And then we'll look at our finished product without the ends. Okay, so here's the one I made before we started. And here's the one we made together. Aren't they cute? And you can set them around. Let's see if I got... Here's a cut. It's got my pins in it, but... You can see how it just sits right down on there. I don't know. Let me see if I can... Hold on, I'm going to take my phone off this. Okay, there's... Let's hold that one right there. There's our coasters finished. Now, aren't those cute? I hope you guys enjoyed making these coasters with me. Just something a little bit different. And something for the fall. You know, we got the holidays coming up. Those are just so cute. So I hope you enjoyed them. And I had fun. I love you guys and appreciate you. And we will talk to you later in Crystal's Crochet Cubbyhole. Bye for now.